Hello, and welcome back to Payment Agenda. I'm Christina, Partnerships Manager here at Corefy. It's been a little while since our last episode, and I'm so excited to restart the series with a big announcement. We've just launched something we think will be a game changer, our brand new ROI Calculator for payment orchestration. If you have ever wondered whether orchestration is worth it for your business, this tool is for you. And to unpack what it is, how it works, and why it matters, I'm joined today by our co-founder and CEO, Denys Kyrychenko. Denys, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Christina. It's great to be back. And even better with such an exciting launch.
So Denys, why did we decide to relaunch Payment Agenda now, and why with this calculator?
We've noticed that for many businesses, payment orchestration feels like a black box. They hear about benefits like higher approval rates, lower costs, fewer chargebacks, but it's hard to put a number on it. Our calculator is about replacing guesswork with clarity. You answer a few simple questions, and within minutes, you see a tailored estimate of the potential monthly gain you could unlock with Corefy. And beyond that, it reflects our philosophy. Switching payment platforms is a strategic move that should be backed by numbers, not promises. So the timing felt right to relaunch the podcast alongside this transparent, data-driven tool.
So it's not just about marketing, it's about giving businesses real insight into whether orchestration makes sense for them.
Exactly. We built it to be flexible, honest, and useful, no matter whether the result is great or shows room for improvement.
Let's zoom out before we dive into the tool itself. For someone who's not in payments every day, what does ROI of payment orchestration really mean?
In short, it's the return you get from optimizing your payments setup. That can come from several sources. First, conversion uplift. Many businesses don't realize that even a 2 to 3% increase in payment approvals can translate into millions in annual revenue. The second is lower processing costs. With smart routing across multiple PSPs, we often see fee reductions of 5 to 15%, then of course fewer chargebacks. Reducing disputes by 40 to 50% protects revenue and reputation, and also operational efficiency. A unified platform reduces manual work and complexity, freeing up teams for growth projects. When you put all of that together, the ROI is often significant.
And it's interesting because the benefits aren't only financial. Things like scalability, faster time to market, and automation can also play a huge role.
Absolutely. Our calculator focuses on measurable financial gains, but we're clear that it doesn't capture all the benefits. Those are harder to quantify, but just as valuable.
Okay, let's talk about the tool itself. Can you walk us through how it works from start to finish?
Sure. We've made it as simple as possible. You start by selecting your business type, low risk or high risk, and your preferred currency. Then you enter a few key details: the number of PSPs you're currently using, your monthly successful transactions, average transaction value, current approval rate, and optionally, your chargeback rate and gross profit margin. From there, the calculator runs the math based on real industry benchmarks and Corefy's client data. The results show three main categories: potential extra revenue from improved conversion, cost savings from smarter routing, and savings from reducing chargebacks. Finally, it estimates Corefy's cost for your volume and calculates your net ROI.
And I noticed it's not a black box. The calculator actually explains the formulas behind the results.
That's right. For example, we apply an uplift of 2 to 20% to your current conversion rate, depending on your inputs. We estimate 5 to 15% cost reduction from smarter routing and up to 40 to 50% fewer chargebacks. We even show the formulas so you can see exactly how the results are derived.
So once someone has their results, how should they interpret them?
But there are a few angles. If you see a positive ROI, that's a clear green light. Orchestration could bring measurable value. If the ROI looks lower than expected, don't be discouraged. The calculator highlights what might be limiting your gains. For example, maybe you already have an excellent approval rate, so conversion uplift is limited. Or maybe your transaction volume is still small, which makes the math less compelling right now.
So it's really about identifying opportunities.
Exactly. Even a negative result is valuable because it tells you what's holding you back and whether scaling, adding PSPs, or reducing chargebacks could change the equation.
Let's make this really concrete. Denys, can you share an example? maybe from the iGaming industry, where the ROI calculator shows just how big the difference orchestration can make.
Absolutely. iGaming is a perfect case because payment performance directly affects revenue and the margins are often razor thin. Let's take an operator processing about 500,000 transactions per month with an average ticket size of 30 euros. Now, here's the catch. Their current payment conversion rate is only 52%. That means nearly half of the attempted deposits are failing. With orchestration and specifically Corefy's ability to route transactions to the best performing PSP in real time, we can often raise approval rates dramatically. In this case, the calculation shows we may lift conversion from 52% to 67%. That's a 15-point jump.
Wow, that sounds massive. What does that look like in numbers?
It's huge. At 52%, 500,000 attempted transactions give you about 260,000 successful ones. Raise that to 67%, and suddenly you're processing 335,000. That's an extra 75,000 successful deposits every single month at an average of 30 euros each. That's over 2 million euros more flowing into the operator's ecosystem every month. And that's just conversion uplift. When you add smarter routing that trims down processing fees by, say, 7%, plus reducing chargebacks, which in iGaming can be especially costly, the total financial impact is staggering.
So we're talking about millions in additional revenue just by fixing that conversion bottleneck.
Exactly. And here's the key. The operator doesn't need to take our word for it. They can input their own numbers into the calculator, model what happens if they raise their conversion, and see the potential ROI instantly.
That really puts it into perspective. It's not just theory, it's a very real opportunity.
Right. And that's why we encourage businesses to play around with different scenarios in the calculator. Whether you're starting with a 52% conversion, like in this case, or already at 80%, the tool helps you see what's realistically possible.
You mentioned earlier that transparency was key. Can you expand on why we built the calculator this way?
Too many tools in fintech give vague promises. We wanted the opposite, a simple, honest, and practical way to help businesses understand impact. That's why we show the assumptions, formulas, and logic behind every calculation. It's also why we only ask for essential data, no sensitive information. We wanted businesses to feel comfortable experimenting, exploring, and sharing results internally.
We also added a FAQ section to the calculator. Can you share some of the common questions we answer?
Of course, one common one is this result guaranteed? The answer is no. It's an estimate based on your inputs and benchmarks, but it's a reliable directional view. Another one, can I edit my answers and try again? Absolutely. We designed it to be flexible, so you can test different scenarios as many times as you like. And a third is, what if my ROI is low? That's often because the current setup is already efficient or transaction volume is low, but it doesn't mean Corefy isn't right for you. It may just mean orchestration's full impact will show when you scale or diversify your PSPs.
So it's a tool not just for yes, no answers, but for sparking business strategy discussions.
Exactly.
For listeners who are curious, what's the next step?
Go to our website and try the calculator. It only takes a couple of minutes. Once you have your results, share them with your team. The tool generates a link you can forward to stakeholders. And if you'd like to dive deeper, our team is happy to review the results with you, validate the inputs, and build a tailored business case.
Denys, thank you for breaking this all down.
Thanks, Christina. Always a pleasure.
And thanks to our listeners for joining us on this first episode back. Don't forget to check out the ROI Calculator. The link is in the description. We'll see you next time on Payment Agenda.